Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the June edition of the National At-Home Dad Network's free webinar series. With us today, we have John Francis of Father's Eve. I first met John, I think, back in 2016 at the second Raleigh convention of the National At-Home Dad Network, and we've gotten to know each other since then. I've hosted a couple of Father's Eve events over the last few years. Oddly enough, I won't be doing it this year because they planned a family vacation on Father's Day weekend. And so I won't be in town to do it, but John made some differences this year. Previously, Father's Eve has largely been about dads getting together and celebrating being a dad. And this year, John decided to use the network that he has and the power that he has to flip things around and have dads start giving back to our own communities. So without further ado, and also to save my voice, you'll have to pardon me, my daughter decided in the last week of school to bring a head cold home with her. So yeah, my voice is a little rough. So I'm going to turn this over to John. And for starters, just tell everybody a little bit about Father's Eve and how things got started.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt. I really do appreciate the opportunity here to share my story and share this opportunity really with the network you guys have. I'm a big fan of the At-Home Dad Network. I'm a work-from-home dad. I have been for my oldest is going to be 19, so about 19 years I've been doing this. Father's Eve started as an accident in my garage here in St. Paul, Minnesota in 2012. And the story goes, that was just after the Great Recession. My wife and I had moved. We got a nice, bigger house. It was a big old house in St. Paul, and the garage was terrible. So I had a contractor come in and knock the garage down and build me a real garage with some space and floor drains and heat and, really kind of got the garage I always wanted. So I was going to break in the garage with a bunch of buddies, have them over for some beers, and just show them, hey, this is where we moved to. It wasn't far from our old place, but I wanted my buddies to know where we moved to. So we were flipping the calendars back when you flip calendars, a week at a glance. And my wife and I were looking for a clear Friday or Saturday night where we didn't have other commitments. And, this was 10 years ago, so my kids were still pretty little. They were, at the time, I guess, 5 and 8. And we're flipping the calendars, and I couldn't find an open night. I finally found an open Saturday in June, and she said, yeah, it looks good for me. And I said, well, that's when we'll do it. And I turned the page, and the next day was Father's Day. And I said, well, then we're going to call it Father's Eve. And that's how it started. It really was an accident and a calendar accident, but what a great opportunity. So I invited about 20 guys over to my house, and we had a great time. We did absolutely nothing. We just hung out and drank beer. I said the music was a little too loud, and there was no women or children. So we had a great time, right? And this was just a guys' night out, very informal, really nothing to it, but we really enjoyed it. And what I learned is this was a chance for me to give back to the guys who had helped me. My dad passed away before I was ever married, and then my brother died as well just before I was ever married. It took me a little while to get married and finally have kids, as we were just talking about. So by the time I was paying attention and trying to be a good dad, I didn't have the two guys I wanted to lean on for advice. Well, they weren't around. So I got some good in-laws, my father-in-law, and I've got some brothers-in-law, and I got people around me that are good people and very helpful, and I leaned on a lot of my friends. So Father's Eve kind of became a way for me to give back to them and say, look, thanks for everything you helped me with as I'm going through my thing, trying to be a better husband, a better father, and really just trying to stay connected to my guy friends. So the first Father's Eve was an accident, but it was really a lot of fun. So we did it again the following year. Of course, now it had to be Father's Eve. It was on purpose. And we did that again. And then the third year in my garage, it was getting out of control, because there were guys bringing their buddies that I didn't know, which I thought was fantastic, because that means they're having so much fun. They're coming back and telling their other buddies. So we outgrew the garage. We moved it to a nearby bar, not far from my house, and we made it a fundraiser for charity. And that year I had kind of called in all my markers, all the people I'd done favors for. And I'm like, man, either come to this event, and we had a silent auction. I said, either need you to donate something or come and buy something. And so a lot of guys showed up, and we managed to raise $10,000 that first year, which was
Wow.
way beyond our expectations. I mean, this is a bunch of guys who had never really done this before. Now, I did have some help. Like I said, I've got some really good buddies from school and work and people I know and trust. And so I put a small team together. So we knew we were on to something. That 2015 was the first, I would say, organized Father's Eve. Then in 2016, we licensed it. So my day job is in franchising. I work with a lot of franchise businesses, and my lawyer says, well, you can't franchise one night a year. I mean, there's no economic model there. So he said you could trademark it and license it for free. And if it gets big enough, you get some volume, you could actually get some sponsors, maybe monetize this with sponsorships. So that's been the strategy. Although we've had limited success with that, we sure have had a lot of fun giving it away. And so when I met you guys, I went to the Dad 2.0 conference in 2016, and that blew my mind that there's a whole community of people and organizations working on fatherhood and related projects. So I met the At-Home Dad Network there. I met the City Dads group there. I met a lot of organizations, a lot of great people, and really expanded my focus into sort of the fatherhood category or business, if there is such a thing. But that's when we really started growing. In 2016, we did it in 12 cities. 2017, 18, and 19, we kept growing and almost doubling every year. The peak was 2019, pre-COVID. We were in 60 cities with Father's Eve. Fantastic. We really had some momentum. We were starting to get some sponsorship attention. Things were looking good. Then COVID hit. And of course, everybody knows that changed the whole game. So 2020, we're back to one event in my garage. I could have 10 guys. The law was 10 guys in one place. And so we did that.
We had, just so that you know,
we
had 6 of us at my house in the backyard.
Wonderful. Well,
everybody was masked up and the seats were far apart, but we weren't going to not do it.
Well, we didn't lose the faith, but we did lose some momentum. So we kept it rolling. Then last year, 21, we managed to put it back out. We found a brewery that had a huge outdoor parking lot. So we could sort of do an outside event, and it was at a brewery, so that worked out pretty well. And then, so this year we're kind of getting back to what we were doing, and we're in, I think it's going to be about 25 cities this year. I actually got one more this morning. Somebody in Ohio came through, and they're going to do another one in Ohio, we got multiples. But
I was going to say, because Brock just now texted in or posted on the video saying, hey, Father's Eve has been a great event to host these past few years. It's been as easy as inviting friends over and just enjoying grilling, talking, games, and maybe a drink.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's about getting together for fun and really no program, no agenda. I say we're not selling anything. We're not saving anybody. We're not really solving anyone's problems. We're just getting to know each other, sharing some ideas, and maybe share some stories about what works for you as a dad or what didn't work so well. And the old guys teach the young guys, and the young guys teach the old guys, and we can all learn from each other if we're interested. But you asked about what changed. So this year for 22, we decided we really wanted to expand what we're doing because while it was a lot of fun, what we've been doing, the evening event, we call it a Father's Eve celebration of fatherhood. And the peak at the evening is the 8 o'clock toast, right? Everybody knows on New Year's Eve, you got to wait till midnight. You count it down, 10, 9, 8, 7, the whole thing. We do that on New Year's Eve at 12 midnight. On Father's Eve, we back that up to 8 o'clock because I got to go home by 10:30 if I'm getting up tomorrow with my kids.
Because we all got kids, yeah.
We all got kids. So the 8 o'clock.
Sleep in no matter how much you want them to.
Well, that's right. And I want to be up with Mike. I want Father's Day for me and my family. So Father's Eve is the night before. It worked out pretty well. So this year, what we decided is to expand our impact and really do some good. We think dads will do more if they get the opportunity. So this year we're adding a kind of a community volunteer kind of a give back thing, a community engagement thing. So we've got a lot of ideas from a lot of creative people out there. And it says some of the examples, like Brock, you mentioned in Ohio. I know that he's doing a diaper bank.
Right.
They're picking up diapers and distributing those to groups and people that need. I mean, that's fantastic, right? That's a great sort of thing to do. There's another group in Ohio that's doing a father-daughter dance, a daddy-daughter dance, full event with the whole family, which is great. Other groups, I'm trying to think of some of the others. There's a group in Chicago that's doing a big family picnic. The City Dads group in Chicago is doing a big group with, moms and kids and everybody, the whole neighborhood. Our group here in Minnesota, we finally got our assignment. We're doing a thing at the fire department in Roseville, where our event is, nearby the brewery. We're going to go help clean up that fire department and do some work with those first responders, to volunteer and give them some appreciation for what we want to do. We had conversations with Habitat for Humanity. There's a few markets where there's some builds going on, and the dads can show up, and if your kids are old enough, they can show up and do some good. But we think that the opportunity is Father's Eve becomes a daytime event as well as the nighttime event. But the daytime event is where dads can do something local in the community and engage your children and show them by example, this is how we live our values. It could be as simple as take a garbage bag and walk around your block, picking up trash with your kids and cleaning up the neighborhood. And then when you throw that garbage bag in your garbage can, take a selfie, take a picture and say, hey, it's Father's Eve. I'm trying to teach my kids. I'm trying to help my community. I'm trying to engage in doing some good, volunteering, giving back, whatever makes sense and whatever is appropriate. Now, it's all volunteer, right? Nobody's paying anything. We're not taking credit card numbers, none of that. It's all volunteer, but we are organizing, and so we're using Facebook. We've got Facebook events listed. We've got on our website, Father's Eve, there's some ideas, there's some links to things like United Way and the Salvation Army. I mean, there are a lot of organizations that will coordinate volunteer community events and activities. So we're not the expert. We're the conduit to try to connect people with these events.
Yeah, and there's a lot of organizations that could actually use a hand.
No doubt about it. Whether it's your church or your school, or like in our case, the fire department, like, why not? We'll help those guys out. Everybody needs some help.
You were talking about picking up the garbage. My family, we live in the walk zone for my daughter's school. So we actually walk back and forth to school every day. Well, not now because it's summer. But when we did, at some point we went out and grabbed some of those little grabber things so that you don't actually have to touch the garbage.
Yeah, right.
And we've made a habit of probably once or twice a week during the school year. We just bring them with us as we go pick up, and a garbage bag. And, sadly, when we first started, we made it less than a block before we had filled a kitchen garbage bag.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, by the end of the year, we can we'll go on one side of the street to go to the school and one side of the street back. And between those two, we'll still fill a full garbage bag almost every time we do it.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and people notice that. People notice and they see it. And what's really critical, I think, is this is where your kids, they don't necessarily listen to what you say, but they certainly watch what you do. And I've learned that as a dad, and not always been to my favor, right? But so when we can be intentional about doing something positive and say we're doing this and we want to do this and here's why we're doing this and I want you to do it with me. So I think that Father's Eve creates that environment or that opportunity for these dads to show up with their kids or with their families or whatever community you can bring together and do something good, do something local, and then go celebrate in the evening, So they're kind of two parts, sometimes connected, but sometimes completely separate. It's fine. Either way, we'll take all we can get.
Right. Now, I know the National At Home Dad Network, we've reached out to our membership and encouraged them to do service work over the course of basically the month between Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Right.
And we've set up like a little Google form so that we can keep track. I haven't checked the forum in a while, but we're trying to keep track of looking up and saying, hey, our membership has done this many hours of volunteer work.
Right.
And we leave it up to the dads to tell us, how much work they've done and when they've done that work and, what kind of work they've done. Hold on one second.
Sure.
Yes? No, I can't. I'm in the middle of doing my work right now. Yes, you can.
And
They're in a silver bag, Lily.
Okay,
Go.
so I finished mine.
Okay.
Great. Real life, man.
Real life parenting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have yet to do one of these that they haven't interrupted.
Well, that's okay.
Unless I do it at an hour when they're not home. That's about the only chance that I've ever had.
Right. 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 Well,
But, some of the things that we've had guys report that they've been doing is everything from picking up garbage to volunteering at their school's cafeterias,
yeah.
chaperoning field trips. I chaperoned a 7-hour field trip.
Wow.
They took the entire second grade class of my daughter's school to the local Life and Science Museum.
Oh, but that was fun.
Oh, it's a great museum. We actually walked from the school all the way to the museum,
Oh, nice.
all the way to the museum and back. And, we didn't lose any kids.
No, it's perfect. Good outcome.
Yeah, we came back with almost the same number we left with.
Well,
we did have one kid who injured herself, and luckily her dad was one of the chaperones.
oh, well, that was lucky.
So they left directly from there to go to the urgent care.
Well, I think this month of giving and this whole community engagement initiative, it's new. It's new for us.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just getting the hang of it. It's the first time we're kind of putting it out there and giving it a bit of push and trying to hopefully inspire people to do this and keep it simple, start small, whatever it takes. And I think for the whole At Home Dad Network to do this nationally for a month is a fantastic initiative. And I'm sure it's going to take a little while, just like anything new. We don't throw big budgets at this. It's more hard work and personal influence individually, one-on-one. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's really rewarding. And I'm hearing back from guys that are organizing these things like this is a great improvement. We had a lot of fun doing the evening thing that we've been doing all the time, and I don't want to give that up. I really don't.
No.
I like that. But I know that we can do more. And so the idea was, let's just expand the whole thing into a daytime activity as well as the nighttime activity. And then Father's Eve has a bigger, broader, I think more important even opportunity for us to do some good.
Yeah. And it's a great opportunity for us as dads to be directly, to do something directly with our kids. Now, granted, I know I'm preaching to the choir with the National At Home Dad Network. All of us are obviously full-time dads. We have a lot of the guys in the network like yourself who work from home,
Yeah.
that are still on that day-to-day level, the primary person giving care to their kids. And we've got a lot of single dad, co-parent types. But the fact is, right, wrong, or indifferent, there's a reputation that, dads aren't necessarily as involved in their kids' lives as moms are or as they should be. And I think that this is also a great opportunity for us to get out there and be publicly visible, doing things with our kids to help improve our own communities and to be seen out there.
Yeah, a little more intentional, a little more visible, a little more consistent, maybe. Doesn't take much to make an improvement. And I think this, like anything, will build up over time. We're getting the hang of this, and the word's getting around, and we're getting some media attention here and there. And I'm sure that by the time Saturday rolls around, we'll be seeing and hearing a lot more about what people are doing around there. And then I think we'll pick up those good ideas and package them up and distribute them around our network and with the people that we're talking to. And I expect that it'll just continue to pick up year over year over year. And who knows? I'm sure it'll lead to some new opportunities we haven't even thought about.
Now, I know last year when we did Father's Eve, there was a live broadcast,
Yeah.
like a coast to coast live stream that was going on.
Yeah, we struggled with that, to be honest with you. It was not pretty. What I learned is, I shouldn't be doing those things on my own. I had a producer that was helping us, but we had some technical problems with bandwidth and just all kinds of stuff. So we decided to tone it down. This year, we're going to use Zoom. I have a Zoom account that I use, so I think we can have 100 people in there at any given time. So we're going to Zoom together online, and the link is on the website, and it's in all the socials, and we'll be promoting that. And then we're going to live stream from Zoom to Facebook, I think is how it works, so people can comment and interact with us there as well. And there's no program. We had videos and we had comedians and we had speakers, and we tried to have some relevant content the last couple of years, but I think we've just decided to give that all up and just leave it open and see where these people are and what they're doing. And I think that's even going to be more fun to see what other folks are doing around the country. Then every time zone from the East Coast at 8 o'clock, then Central at 8 o'clock, and Mountain at 8, every time zone, we'll go across at least the 4 time zones in the U.S. We're going to do that toast. So wherever you are, if you're in that time zone, you can join at your 8 o'clock. And if you're in a different time zone, I guess figure out where you want to be. But at the top of the hour for 4 hours, we're going to do a live countdown toast. And I think it could be a lot of fun because I think it's more interesting to see these other people and what they're doing at their events and in their groups or in their backyards or in their home or in these bars and restaurants or wherever it might be. So we're optimistic that it'll be even more interesting than what we tried last year.
Well, I do want to point out to everybody that is watching or is watching this on the replay, the website that he's referring to, it is fatherseve.com. And you can search Father's Eve on Facebook. I'm sure you guys are on Instagram and Twitter and all the others.
We're out there on the ones I can manage, and I'm lucky. I've got guys helping me, again, my good friends, and they're engaged and helpful, and guys like you and other friends I've made all around the country doing this, and it's kind of my give back thing. It's what I can do to help the world, or do my part to try to facilitate people doing something good. This has never been about me. It's not my thing. It's our thing. It's for everybody. And so it's important that people understand that I like to say it's fun, it's free, it's Father's Eve, right? There's not much to it. We do have a license agreement because we got a trademark we're trying to monetize someday, some way. Someone will want to be the official whatever of Father's Eve, and maybe we'll have some fun once we get into that level. But in the meantime, we're trying to keep it simple and really just do some good and have some fun along the way.
Which is really all anybody can ask. Father's Eve has always been a good friend of the National At Home Dad Network. You all right, bud? Yeah. Okay. Juice box down the wrong pipe.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you guys have always been a great friend of the National At Home Dad Network, and we've always been happy to have you around. I know that you're not going anywhere, and we're not going anywhere. So hopefully this will continue to grow, just like we talked about. And again, you had said that the Zoom link, I'm assuming that'll be on your webpage?
Yeah, it's all over there. There's buttons and links, and by the time Saturday rolls around, we'll switch everything over, so that's all you'll see. It'll be real easy. And we do have an email list. If guys get to the website, there's a button that says sign up here. We capture those emails, so then we'll send you a message if you want that or need that. I think we send 3 emails a year, so it's pretty manageable. There's not a lot going on.
And I would also like to point out, I still remember the first year that I did it. which I believe was 2019.
Yeah.
And when I did it in 2019, I remember reaching out to you personally with like a whole laundry list of questions because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I had attended a couple of them, and that was about all I knew. And you were incredibly helpful. You talked me through everything, and it really is as simple as inviting your local dads over. You can go out of your way and do it at a bar or do it at a coffee shop or wherever you want to do it. The first year I did it, those of you who know me know my love for all things smoked and meat related.
Oh,
I did a whole bunch of smoked meats in the backyard, made a big salad so that everybody could tell their wives that they ate a vegetable, and even made a vegetarian smoked mushroom pate. Because we had one vegetarian that was coming to the party, and I wasn't going to have him not able to eat.
I remember seeing pictures of that spread. I think you shared some photos of the stuff you put out, man. It looked very impressive.
Yeah, it was a good time had by all.
Well, we say Father's Eve is real simple. Pick a place, make it happen. I mean, whether you do it at home or in your neighborhood or down the street or wherever it makes sense. And usually these things grow like mine did. It kind of took on a life of its own, and we've been trying to manage that growth and expand that growth and just bring more people into it. There was a person I talked to this morning said they got the mayor of their town involved, and the mayor went online and watched the videos and was looking at all our stuff. And like I said, we've been just goofing around with this for like 10 years. We got some history, and he was very impressed. And so the mayor is going to do some things in this town in Ohio. And anyway, we're excited, as it picks up every year, and then there's always next year. I mean, the goal is that this just becomes a regular thing that people look forward to and participate in every year.
Well, and the other thing that's nice is it brings a lot more fathers together. I can only speak for myself, but I know among a lot of men, as we get older, our circle of friends tends to shrink.
Yeah.
Because people move away, and a lot of us just aren't really that great at making new friends. And this is an opportunity, especially if, you feel comfortable opening it up and making it a public event. Some of the guys that do them at their homes might not be that interested in that. But, if you're doing it at a bar room or whatever, open it up to all the dads in your area. Reach out to your local PTA in the school and get to know the other dads that your kids go to school with their kids.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a big community out there just looking to get connected. And some people say when they hear about Father's Eve, they're like, well, what's the catch? There really is no catch. And maybe they're skeptics or, I don't know, maybe I'm just naive Minnesotan here, but we're just doing this because we can. There's no hidden agenda here. We're not going to surprise you with something different. We're just trying to have fun, do some good, and stay connected. So it's just that simple.
And I will tell you, over the years, I've gotten at least one gorgeous pint glass. And I have to say, my favorite piece of Father's Eve swag that I've ever received has to be the little can koozie with the magnets on the back.
Oh yeah, those are a big hit. The magnetic
koozies will actually hold a full can up on the fridge.
Oh yeah.
Big thumbs up on those.
Yeah, those work great on riding lawnmowers. They work really well there. I use it in my garage pretty much anywhere I turn around, and I don't want to set the beer down because it might spill. So you can stick it to any metal, steel surface. And those can koozies are a big hit. We should probably do those. We didn't do them this year, but maybe next year we'll do another batch.
Let's say maybe next year we'll do another batch. Well, it doesn't look like we have anybody asking any questions in the live feed. So I'm not going to take up any more of your time.
That's all right, Matt. Look, I really appreciate the opportunity. I really do. It's fun to talk to you again and share this opportunity with your network. And I know you have good reach on the socials. I'm sure there'll be a lot of folks watching. If you want to reach me, fatherseve.com. My name's John Francis. I'm not hard to find. happy to share, happy to talk. I talk all day long. I love what I do. I'm a lucky guy to be able to lead this effort, and just grateful for the opportunity to do it. So thank you.
Thank you for being with us. I do want to mention to everybody, please don't forget that we've got our convention coming up the last weekend of September and through October 1st. We're in Phoenix, Arizona this year for Home Dad Con. We've got a lineup of speakers that has come together that is going to be a really, really fun and educational convention this year. The theme that we're using this year is milestones. And we're going to be focusing on those different milestones that we all have as fathers and that our kids have as they're growing older. So if you want any more information about that, you can check our website. It is athomedad.org. Please look into our Facebook page. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram. And again, don't hesitate to reach out. We're all in this dad game together, and we're all trying to do the best we can. So on that note, I'm going to let everybody go. We are looking forward to our July webinar where we're going to bring in Darren Carter, which for those of you who know Darren Carter, you know that Darren Carter is a pit master of the smoked meats and barbecue. We're going to have Darren come on and talk to us about how now that we're hitting July and it's the summer months, it's grilling time.
Yeah.
So let's talk about grilling and barbecue and how we can all get better at doing what we do. But on that note, on behalf of the National At-Home Dad Network, I want to thank everybody who's joined us and invite everybody to come join us next month. Y'all have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Matt. Bye-bye.
The broadcast of Facebook Live has stopped.